We got to talk about Elon Musk and what he did this week for our lead topic. Mia, did you hear what Elon Musk did?
I have no idea what Elon Musk did.
Well, it affects you, so you should. It's a treatment for epilepsy. Elon Musk, his company Neuralink, has implanted its first chip in a human brain. That's right, the first ever microchip in a human brain. Here, this is from the scientificamerican.com. Billionaire technologist Elon Musk announced this week that his company Neuralink has implanted its brain-computer interface into a human for the first time. The recipient was recovering well, Musk wrote on his social media platform X, right before the guy snapped and killed everyone in the room. No, not really. That initial results showed promising neuron spike detection, a reference to brain cells' electrical activity. Each wireless chip contains chip and electrode arrays of more than 1,000 super-thin flexible conductors that a surgical robot threads into the cerebral cortex. I'm going to act like I know what the hell that meant, because I'm lost there. There, the electrodes are designed. What are you going to say?
You don't know what that means?
No, what does it mean?
That means that the chip just sends...
Oh, here we go. Please enlighten all of us.
The chip sends like little notifications.
Just don't have a seizure.
Yeah.
Don't have a seizure.
I don't know.
So, what else do we got here? US FDA approved human clinical trials for Neuralink in May 2023, and last September, the company announced it was opening enrollment in its first study with people with quadriplegia. Okay. So here's where it gets a little sketchy. Here's where it gets a little weird. I don't have a problem with helping people that are severely epileptic or people with quadriplegia walk again, obviously, with this type of technology. That's not my problem. Isn't with what the initial use is going to be. I mean, if like Mia's epileptic and I see what one seizure every 2 years that will knock her on her ass for a week, and then I hear a story about some kid that's having 25 a day, and I'm like, that's no quality of life. So I am completely sympathetic to somebody who would want to get this for that, or who would want to get this to maybe learn to walk again because they've been paralyzed by some horrific accident, or they have some severe brain damage and they just want to be able to think like the rest of us. I'm sympathetic to that, but we are playing with fire here. This is a dangerous game we're playing because he's already said that this isn't where this stops. This is not the end of Neuralink. Eventually, Neuralink is going to be is going to replace your smartphone. You're no longer going to have a smartphone in your hand. It'll be in your head. You'll be able to think photographically. More, I mean, I know some of us already do think photographically, myself included. But I'm talking on a whole other level. Think your iPhone in your brain. You can't even comprehend what you would be able to do with this. You would be able to take notes, have X amount of space on this thing, pull up videos, send messages to other people from your brain to their brain, look up any information you want in a matter of seconds. You'd never have to learn anything again. I mean, we're talking some seriously futuristic dystopian shit. And that's where I'm starting to see a problem. That's where I'm concerned, is when this stuff starts replacing smartphones and starts creating superhumans, two classes of human. Because you're not going to... Yeah, you'll have a choice, but you're not going to have a choice. If you don't get this thing, you'll never be able to get another job again. You'll be completely left behind by society as a whole. There'll be millions of people left in the dust. We will essentially, those of us that don't get the chip, will break off from society and have to create our own society, which will inevitably be crushed by the people with all the advanced technology. This is a serious, serious thing, and I do not like the road this is going down. I'm afraid that he let the cat out of the bag on this one, and it's too late, and it's only a matter of time. Mia, will you get the chip? Will you take the chip?
No.
No. Why not?
I don't want to deal with it. That seems scary.
Well, it seems scary. Plus, I mean, think of this. We talked a couple weeks ago about the smart homes, right? And how concerning it was that these smart homes would, or that someone from 500 miles away can control the temperature in your house, right? And they can shut the smart home down in the winter if they wanted to freeze you out, or vice versa in the summer. Well, imagine there's a chip that obviously someone somewhere has a remote control to. Now they can shut your brain down if you step out of line. Imagine that. Imagine I'm talking in the middle of a show and my fucking head just explodes because I'm saying something they don't like.
So you're saying they can change the temperature in my brain too?
They could shut your brain off. They could do whatever they wanted. I don't like the idea of a remote device being put in my head that anybody anywhere has access to, and you know how that's going to go. And I know everyone's, oh, Elon Musk, he's such a cool guy. He's one of us. He's conservative. He's based, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, right now he is. Right now he is. 5 years ago, Elon Musk was an open socialist, politically. So he's obviously volatile. I appreciate what he's done with Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. But that doesn't mean we can't criticize him on things and call him out when we think he's wrong. Also, Elon Musk ain't going to be the one in control of the technology all the time. Yeah, he'll invent the first one, but you're going to get lots of companies out. I mean, you see these corporate woke policies where they're debanking people and shutting their social media accounts and phone services down because they say things they don't like. Do you really want to give these people control over access to your brain? I mean, that's the one place we're still safe from the elites is within our own minds. They can't access us there. Why would we want to give them that access? Because you know they'll get it. They can get into anything else they want. Why wouldn't they be able to get into that? They can get into your smartphone. They can get into your smart home, into your TVs, into your fucking Liberty Safe, your computers. They can get into whatever they want. Why would they not be able to do it with your brain? That's not going to be any different. We are opening up. Elon Musk just opened up Pandora's box. And guys, we had a good run. We had a good run. I don't know how I try to see the positive when we talk about these things. Like the culture wars and World War III coming around the horizon. I try to point out the positive. I don't see a way that this ends positively now that the cat's out of the bag. As soon as this comes in, well, I shouldn't say quite yet, but as soon as this becomes available to everybody, it's over. It's over. Far be it from me to ask Congress to step in on something, but I almost think you have to. I almost think Congress has to step in and say, this is not going to go one step further. You can use this for medical purposes. You can treat this, but this doesn't go any further. Now, I don't have faith that Congress is going to do that because 3/4 of Congress is 80 plus years old and doesn't even know how to work their online banking. So I don't think you're going to be able to explain a brain chip to them. So imagine, yeah, your congressman doesn't know what a credit card balance transfer is, and he's going to vote to send your kids to war. Have you seen, like, the hearings where they'll try to describe crypto, Mia? To explain how cryptocurrency works to these people?
No, I've never seen those.
I mean, it's seriously, it's these 75-year-old men and women, congressmen and women, sitting there, and it's like trying to explain to your great-grandpa how his Apple TV that you got him for Christmas works, and he just ends up screaming and cussing and probably saying a racial slur and storming out of the room. That's essentially what it is. I remember my dad made the mistake, because he dealt in electronics, made the mistake of getting my great-grandma, who was 90-some years old, a surround sound system. And I remember my dad getting 3 phone calls a week for months. And I would just hear her daughter on the phone and then my great-grandma in the background going, "The sound's not working!" And that was a regular occurrence in our house. It was a running joke how many times that phone would ring, because it was still when home phones were a thing. How many times the caller ID would ring with her name on it, because she had some issues with the sound. And he couldn't figure it out, because then he sold one to his parents, and it was the same thing. That's what it's like watching these people, these members of Congress, try to learn anything that was invented past like 2003. They've checked out. They can't do it. It's not in their capacity. That's why they haven't addressed AI. That's why they're not going. That's why I have no faith they're going to address this. That's why we have to start putting age limits in place for people in Congress, so that we can actually address issues that are going to affect the next couple generations. Because, call me crazy, but unfortunately, Mitch McConnell, God bless his soul, not really. He's not dead, but you don't say God bless his soul. But Mitch McConnell, God bless him. He doesn't have another 20, 30 years left. He doesn't have to deal with the long-term outcomes of the stuff he's doing right now or the stuff he's neglecting right now. So that's why it's important. It's more important now than ever to start throwing these dinosaurs out of office, which is why you need to vote for Mia for U.S. Senate, because she's in it for the long run. She's in it for the long run. She's going to dog walk Pete Ricketts 80 to 20% in the primary. We've already said that. And then I think you...
Give him some credit. I said 60.
Okay, well, that would be... You would win by 60%. So you're saying you get 60%, he gets 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get 60, he gets 40.
So you win by like 20. Okay.
No, I win by 40.
If you get 60 and he gets 40, you win by 20. What's 60 minus 40? Guys, we're having a math lesson on the show right now.
Well, I thought since I would get 60% of the vote, he would get the other.
You know what? I changed my mind. I support Elon Musk's brain implant chip. Everyone should get one. I am now in support of it.
I see where you're coming from now. Yes, 20. Yes.
I think everyone should get the Elon Musk Neuralink chip. I've done a 180 live on air. You've witnessed it. You know what's funny is she would still do those things even with the Neuralink chip. Okay, so now I'm being flipped off on my own show. Anyway, wow. This took a turn I did not expect. Didn't think I would be persuaded the other way on this one. I thought I was pretty firm in my views here. But no, I think it's going to take an act of Congress. It's going to take something. It may just take someone from the FDA saying, "Hey, you know what? We're not doing this. We're done. We're yanking the testing. You can't do this." But then it's a catch-22. Because I guarantee you, even if we do that here in the United States, countries like China, countries like Russia, countries like Iran, India, you name it, they're not going to play by those rules. They'll get a hold of this technology. And it may not be as good as what we're capable of doing here, but it'll still be better than our pea-sized human brains. So if Russia and China get a hold of this technology, this Neuralink technology, and they're thinking like superhumans, they'll roll in here and crush us. And they're not gonna be held to our laws. So even if Congress passes an act, even if the FDA says, "No, we're done, we're not doing this, throw it away, kill it with fire," there's absolutely nothing stopping Russia and China and Iran and whoever else is the big bad boogeyman over the next 20 to 30 years. There's absolutely nothing stopping them from getting this technology, coming in here and steamrolling us. And maybe not even in a war, just economically beating us so bad because they can think at such a higher level than us that we don't stand a chance and they completely dominate us and we get left in the Stone Age, figuratively speaking. I mean, it'd be the modern equivalent of the Stone Age we'd be left in. And then the only way to stop that might actually, the cure might actually be worse than the disease. Because the only way to stop China and Russia and all these other countries from going along with it would be to establish a one world government or a new world order, which we don't want to live on either. We don't want to live under either. So I fail to see a positive outcome from this. Elon Musk, all the great he's done for free speech, just let the cat out of the bag, and this is fucking bad. This is an issue. Now, I don't get overly religious on this show. I don't. It's not something I do. That's something. I mean, I'm open about how I feel about those things, but it's not something I do often. So, the Bible talks about the mark of the beast, right? The mark of the beast being something that's embedded in you, like a chip, maybe. Well, here it is. You went to Catholic school. How does the mark of the beast work?
We never really talked about that.
You didn't?
No.
Huh.
That's not something we really discussed
not?
My all-girls Catholic high school.
Oh. Well, the Bible talks about the mark of the beast being something that's embedded in the skin. and it's something that'll be available to everyone, and only the true believers won't take it. Does that sound familiar? Something that'll be very intriguing. There were a lot of people that thought it was the vaccine. The vaccine, that would be a very, very big letdown for Mark of the Beast. No, they said it would be something that would be available to everyone, but those who were strong in their core beliefs wouldn't take it. Well, if this brain implant through Neuralink becomes available to everyone, like a lot of people are predicting it will be, obviously it's going to be pretty enticing to be able to have whatever knowledge you want in your brain immediately. A lot of people are going to want to take that, but you won't have to. Technically, you won't have to. Things will be very difficult for you if you don't, but you don't have to. Well, who brings in the Mark of the Beast, Mia? Who brings about the end of the world?
Satan?
The Antichrist, right? The Antichrist.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I've got some factoids here about the Antichrist, just from what I did a little bit of research on it. I'll read it off to you. The Antichrist is a Chihuahua. No, I'm kidding. Born of a whore. That's the first thing. Born of a whore with Jewish bloodline. That's what it says. Well, we have a little bit more here. He will come at a time of apostasy, deceive people with signs and wonders, sit in the temple of God, and claim to be God himself. Finally, he will be defeated by Jesus, who will destroy him by the spirit of his mouth. Like Christ, the Antichrist will grow up in obscurity and begin his open ministry at the age of 30, gaining followers by giving signs and performing miracles. Like Christ, the Antichrist will come to Jerusalem, but as the opposite of Christ, he will be enthusiastically hailed and revered by the Jews upon his arrival. So we got a lot to unpack there. Let's break it down bullet point by bullet point. And I know I gave a lot of people the chills with the talk radio host from the 60s last week, who was talking about if I were the devil and basically predicted everything to a T. Well, this is going to dwarf that, because I'm going to scare the shit out of you with what I have right here. Let's break this down. First thing of the Antichrist, born of a whore. Well, Elon's mother, model with a promiscuous past.
Are you insinuating Elon Musk is the Antichrist?
Listen to what I have to say. Jewish bloodline. Comes from a Jewish bloodline. Come at a time of general apostasy, obviously. Deceive people with signs and wonders, sit in the temple of God and claim to be God himself. He hasn't claimed to be God himself yet. Here we go, though. He will begin his, wonders. Obviously, he's the first private company to send a spaceship to outer space. He is putting chips in people's brains that can supposedly cure these ailments and diseases we at one point thought were incurable. He's going to make it so he's claiming he's going to be able to make it so we've got all this information on demand in our brains immediately that we can just pull it up like supercomputers. Here's the next part. Like Christ, the Antichrist will grow up in obscurity. Now, Elon didn't come from poverty, but nobody knew who he was up until early 2000s, late 90s. And begin his open ministry at the age of 30, gaining followers by giving signs and performing miracles. Well, Elon Musk made his initial fortune by selling PayPal and founding SpaceX. Guess which age Elon Musk sold PayPal and founded SpaceX at? 30. Like Christ, the Antichrist will go to Jerusalem in the tumultuous times. Guess where Elon Musk went in November? Jerusalem, where he was, as it says here, will be enthusiastically hailed and revered by the Jews. And that's exactly what happened when he went there. What do you think? Have I convinced you yet?
I don't know. I mean,
At first you thought it was a joke, and now you don't know.
I'm gonna have a hard time believing Elon Musk is the Antichrist.
Well, the Antichrist, they've always said he would try to blend in with us. He would try to convince he's one of the good guys. He's on our side.
Good job blending in.
He's not What do you mean? I mean, he's pretending to be Mr. Conservative, pro-free speech. He did a total 180 from his otherwise borderline communist political views a couple years ago. He's basically aligned himself with the right and people that believe in free speech and limited government and, being able to do whatever you want within reason.
I thought you meant blending in as like the average. Like
No. The Antichrist didn't do that either. No, Elon, he's trying to blend in with blend in's probably a bad word for it. He's moving amongst the conservative movement. He has aligned himself with us, seemingly out of the blue. Now, this could all be coincidence, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. We got a guy who really started his come up at the age of 30, recently visited Jerusalem, is of Jewish bloodline.
I mean, I recently visited Jerusalem.
No, you didn't. Only to spray paint swastikas on all the buildings. Comes at a time of apostasy. I mean, the world's in complete chaos, right? Right when Elon started making real power moves in the political sphere is really when the world was breaking into chaos. And he has aligned himself with us. He's got a lot of people follow. Just beware of the false prophets. That's all I'm saying. And now he wants to embed something into our skin, a chip. Maybe I'm an idiot. Let me know in the comments. Am I wrong? What were you going to say?
But he's not forcing us.
No, the Antichrist wouldn't force it on you. Remember, it said it would be available to everyone, but the true believers wouldn't take it. Those who were firm in their faith and their values wouldn't take whatever the mark of the beast was. This could very well be it. Here's a question for you. Philosophical question for you. They give you a pill. They say you can live for 1,000 years if you take this pill. Do you take it?
No.
No? Why not?
I wouldn't want to live for 1,000 years.
That does sound like a long time. That would get exhausting. I mean, I guess it... If you didn't take it, I wouldn't either. But I mean, I guess it depends. It's like, am I going to be healthy for 1,000 years? Or am I just going to be this old decaying, you know?
Yeah, like, would you stay the same age you are now? You know? Like vampires, like, would you stay...
You wouldn't drink blood.
No, I know, but like, would you stay the same age you are now? Like, and then after a while start to age?
I guess maybe it'd be like a pause on aging. I don't know. I mean, it's all theory. None of it's real. But I mean, this chip is very, very real, and this could spell a lot of shit. Like I said, I mean, the Bible talks about the great war at the end of time, right? Well, if other countries get a hold of this technology or they want to get a hold of this technology, I mean, obviously, there's going to be some conflict over that. And I mean, look at what's going on right now. Russia going through Ukraine, Israel versus Palestine. Iran just made a move on the U.S. China's about to move on Taiwan. The whole world's going to war right now. So maybe, I mean, a lot of biblical prophecies already come true up until this point. So maybe... Just maybe I'm not blowing smoke out my ass on this one. I don't know. You still don't look like I've convinced you.
I mean, it's going to be hard to convince me someone's the Antichrist without...
That is a pretty hard accusation. I will agree.
Yeah. I tell you what, if it comes out he's actually the Antichrist, I'll give you $50.
Perfect. I don't know how much money is going to be worth when the Antichrist reveals himself. We may not have a currency system at the time when that happens. So maybe you can give me like ammunition or something. Food rations, that might be more valuable.
Yeah. I'll do that.
Okay. All right. Well, that's been our lead topic for the week. Think about it. I'm obviously that's like I said, a hell of an accusation. I'm not saying anything for certain. I'm not telling you that beyond the shadow of a doubt, Elon's the Antichrist. I'm just saying there are a lot of parallels there between the Antichrist and a guy who now wants to put a chip in your brain. Think about it. Let me know in the comments on YouTube and Rumble. Get at me, Caleb, at CalebSalvatoreComedy.com. Let me know how stupid you think I am. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to click the link in the description to get the full episode on Rumble. If you prefer to listen along, you could actually get us on Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. You can also go to www.outlawstreamers.com to learn more about not just my show, but tons of other great shows and all the exciting projects they have coming up. Follow my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, at Caleb Salvatore Comedy on the Chinese spy app that is TikTok, and be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks. And we'll see you every Saturday for brand new episodes of That's Based. Peace.